Hi everybody, it's AZCast number 10. I'm your host Az, and with him as always is my co-host Zerg. How you doing?
Hi. I'm okay. You?
I'm fine, sweetie.
Sweet. You're not gonna drop that one now, are you?
So we're just preparing for today's stream, podcast, whatever. And Zerg just goes da 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 sweetie to me. And I'm just like, what?
Didn't to just
What?
be-
Why'd you call me sweetie? And it's just like, I'm so used to I'm just been talking to the missus and I'm just all there.
He liked it really. Let's be fair. He thought, ooh,
I felt
hello.
loved. I felt loved
He
and
did.
cherished.
For all of a microsecond, and then it was just confusion.
Well, yeah.
It's like, what the hell?
Massive confusion. Cold Sore's looking a lot better. Nearly gone.
So it's getting ready to pack home and go.
Yeah, pretty much. So this is the 10th episode, which is an anniversary episode. It's the final episode as well. I'm only joking. So we're actually going to do something different today. In as much as Zerg and I are going to drop our top 5 games of all time.
Not literally pick them up and drop them.
Like the hot.
Okay.
But just before we do that, just 2 pieces of news.
Okay.
Detroit Become Human.
And here I thought you were going to mention God of War.
Detroit Become Human. Biggest selling game for Quantic Dream. I think it sold... We don't know the full extent of the sales figures at the moment, but it sold something along the lines of 340,000 copies in the first 2 days.
Ow.
I think that might just be in the UK as well. So it seems to be doing very well indeed. The company has said it's their most successful game to date. They are absolutely thrilled. So well done, Quantic Dream. Detroit Become Human. Rapidly, I think my favourite game of the year.
Hats off to you. I wasn't going to put it on because it's too bloody hot.
What, to put a bit of cloth on your head?
I'm melting right here.
Whatever. I've got a
I've
fan behind me, but I have to turn it off because it's too loud.
I would have the window open as a really cold breeze.
Look,
but...
is this too loud? I'll turn it off. Is that coming? Is that too loud? Is it coming through the mic?
I can't hear it. I can't hear anything.
Just in case, I'll turn it off. My remote control fan.
I saw that on Amazon.
Yeah, I bought it from. Yeah, it is. It's awesome.
Is it better than these crappy desk ones?
Oh yeah. I had a crappy desk fan. This is what we talk about here, folks. We give you all the exclusive on fans.
Yep.
Actually, it's not bad. Yeah, much better. It's really good. It's really good. Decent size, powerful, with different modes. What was it, 50 odd quid? Very happy about that. And in other news, because you have to balance the yin with the yang.
Okay.
EA, massive cocks.
No, if you go watch every episode since this one to probably find out why they are that.
I mean,
explain every episode, don't we?
It's not difficult to understand why. Yeah. So EA, right? EA tell us that when I say we, I mean us gamers. We don't know what we want. We don't know what we want. We're too dumb. We don't know what we want.
I know what I want.
And that Command and Conquer, we need to respect it. We need to respect mobile games. Because the mobile game industry is just a plethora of quality titles right now. Oh no, it's a cesspit of microtransaction egregious shit. Also, mobile games of the future, apparently. Oh, Patrick Sutherland, whatever. Fuck yourself. Seriously. EA, just please, go out of business. Just... horrible company. Just a disgusting pox of a company. Oh, by the way, right? Since I'm on the subject of Patrick from EA, he's waffling on about, oh, we've learned from the mistakes of Star Wars Battlefront 2. We believe going forward that nobody should pay to win. Nobody should get an advantage by paying more money. Oh, by the way, our Ultimate Team FIFA loot boxes, they're fine. They're fine, though. Even though they are pay to win, because you're gambling which footballers you're going to get in the loot. Oh, whatever, Patrick, shove it up your ass. Okay, so that's the news done. That is it. That's all we're going to talk about today, because this is shows about good games, not crap from EA. By the way, folks, if you want to play a FIFA game, pick any year whatsoever, buy the FIFA game. There you go. FIFA game for life. Right, so Zerg. We have not conferred over this at all.
No, we haven't. Az messaged me about 10 o'clock this morning. Well, I asked him about what time we will do this, and he messaged me back saying...
Put down your top five favourite games all time.
Ever.
Because this is a positive show today.
That was it.
This is a positive show.
Do you know why they're our favourite? Because we know what we want as gamers.
No, I think you find that we don't.
Oh, right, sorry.
I think you just find that we're just a bunch of morons that wave our wallets around going, EA, take our money, you fucking wankers.
Well, guess what? You can't have mine. I don't have a wallet. Ha! I don't.
I do. I have a Batman wallet. Although I don't know where it is. I think it might be in the toilet. Anyway. So we have not conferred over what games.
Mm-hmm.
I got a sneaky feeling. This is not a setup, people. I promise you. I have a sneaky feeling that we are going to cross paths at least once.
I would be surprised if we don't cross paths twice, actually.
Oh yeah, twice. I know, and I could. Right, I'm going to write down here at the bottom of my page. Right, which two?
Yeah.
Which two? Right.
Okay. Well, I've got them on my page here anyway.
But I'm writing them down at the bottom in big capital letters.
Okay.
so it doesn't look like I'm fudging.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I'm not writing anything.
No.
Oh, my hands are in the air.
And I'm putting it in a box.
Okay.
Okay. And then I'll show you at the end of the video.
Okay.
So, Zerg, I want you to go. I want these in order as well.
Yep. No, I've got them in order.
Ooh. I want number 5 on your list, please, Zerg.
Ooh.
And why?
Number 5. Now, I did them in order of age when I discovered these games. So where do you want? Do you want
I don't mind.
I mean,
I don't mind if you group it by franchise. So let's say, for argument's sake, the Final Fantasy franchise. You could just put Final Fantasy, and then you could discuss your favourite Final Fantasy games.
Okay. Well,
so instead of saying like number 1 Final Fantasy 7, number 5 Final Fantasy 8, you know what I mean. Okay. Number 5.
Number 5, I'm going to go with in age of when I discovered them. Mm-hmm. So
whatever.
Fifth one's going to be when I first discovered them. Sonic and Knuckles 3.
Wow.
Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Right. So should we say this Sonic franchise?
Let's say the 2D original Sonic franchise.
Right. Okay. All right.
I'm talking Master System, not anything beyond the Master System.
Mega Drive. Actually.
Mega Drive, Master System, Mega Drive.
Genesis tier.
Yeah.
Yankee Doodle down. Is that like a racist thing now?
What? Yankee Doodle?
Yank.
I don't know.
Whatever. YouTube don't give a fuck anyway. Genesis to the Americans out there. Yeah, okay. So you going to Y? You going to Y, and we'll have a quick chat.
Why? I loved it as a child.
Well, I took that as a given that you loved it.
I'm
It's in
going
your
back
top
as a
5
child.
favorite games of all time. I took it as a given.
Sonic to me, when I was a child, was a character that I fell in love with. He was blue. He was fast. He just spoke to me as a child. You know, the marketing worked, obviously, because as a child, it was something that it spoke to. It reeled me in. I hook, line, and sinker. Fell in love with the dude. I still love the dude. There's been some really bad games. There's been some awesome ones. Sonic Mania, one of the best ones so far. Sonic Generations, absolutely loved. And all the other ones in between, you know, whatever. But my favorite one I always go back to, always, even to this day, I load it up either on the Mega Drive, I load it up on Xbox Live arcades, I load it up on Steam, and I just play it through. Sonic 3 and Knuckles, so the whole kit caboodle. Just something about that game that it's nostalgic. The music to it is fantastic. I've got all the soundtracks, so all the chiptune tracks on my iPods, and I can listen to them. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. There's simplistic games, but there's something for me as a child that I could not so much look up to, but it was something that it was colorful, it was fast, and he had attitude. I collected all the Sonic comics back when I was a kid. I loved the character. You know, I had Mario on the Game Boy and the SNES, and I had Sonic on the Mega Drive. And
I think the first Sonic did come out of the Master System as well. I think you're right there. I think the first
Sonic 1 Master System.
I think so. I think the first Sonic did come out in the Master System.
It was Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles all on the Master System, and then it jumped from the Master System to the Saturn.
No, I think Sonic 1 for the Master System, 2, 3, Knuckles, Mega Drive.
No, yes, you're right. Sorry, the
Sonic
Master
Pinball
System
Mega
smaller, wasn't it?
Drive as
Yeah,
well.
no, you are right. Yeah.
And then Saturn.
Yeah, and then there was those iterations between with the Game Gear and.
Well, I love the 2D Sonic games. I love Sonic 1, 2, 3. I even really enjoyed Sonic Pinball as well, to be honest with you. But I once it went 3D, it lost. It's really weird because when Mario went 3D, it worked.
Yes.
It absolutely worked. It worked perfectly. The problem with Sonic going 3D is Sonic is so fast. It had serious problems because how do you keep the speed of the character while trying to keep it 3D-ish? You can't really do an open world or stuff like that because you need to be moving quick.
Yes, it had to be big, didn't it, to accommodate that
So
speed.
it just had to be thing, and I don't think they ever quite managed to get it right. But the 2D stuff, I mean, I'd love to see them do like a Street Fighter-y 2D where it looks really, really nice, and put Sonic back into that sort of situation. Because I do think the 2D Sonics were some of the best platforming games you'll ever play in your life.
Yeah. If you
got to confess, I am surprised top 5, but I mean, if you were to say to me top, 20, then there's a possibility that Sonic might even squeeze onto my top 20 games of all time.
Well, you think
at least the 2D ones.
Yeah, what happened with me was that I only had access to the SNES, the Atari, and the Master System, which was Master System was my dad's, the SNES was mine. And the Atari was, I think, was my dad's as well. But we only played Pong on that for a little while, and it was like, oh, we like games. Let's get something a bit more modern. So we got the other two. And back then, where gaming was sort of like frowned upon, even more so, I had to make one game sort of last over a long period of time. So I never got access to play the whole library.
They're so expensive in those days. Sonic,
they were very.
Sonic 2, I remember buying for £45.
Yeah.
Back in 1995, 4, 5, maybe even 3. I can't remember when Sonic 2 came out. If you do want to do a fact check,
92.
It was 92. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm paying £45 for it then. I've got one of my first jobs, so I've like literally spent my week's wage.
Yeah.
Because I think my first pay packet was £60.
Ooh. That was a lot back then.
I got paid £1.65 an hour.
That was a lot.
It wasn't.
Back then.
It was not. It was not. It was daylight fucking robbery. But I was a 16-year-old boy back in 1999. But I got like my first job, and I got like £60 a week. I bought Sonic 2, 45 quid. I think I actually might have got it for £40 because it was in the front window as a display copy. So there's a possibility I managed to talk the people at Curry's to give me a £5 off.
The days when you go into Curry's and get games.
The days that you could go into shops, high street shops, and barter with the pricing people.
Yep.
This is a true story. You could be like, if I buy this and I get these, can you give us a tenner off? And
I still do that.
Sometimes it works.
I get away with it as well.
Last time I did that was 2004.
I did it this year actually when I bought my mattress.
I do all my purchasing online now, so it's just like.
I wanted to test the mattress out, so I went in there. I was like,
ladies,
I really like this mattress. Can I have that? But can you do me a deal on 2 Tempur pillows at the same time? And he looked at me and went, yeah, I think I can knock 50 quid off each. These Tempur pillows are £85.
Well, I was going to say they are expensive, yeah.
Yeah. So because I brought the mattress things like that, it's like if you don't ask, you don't get. Ask seriously. Ask.
No, I totally agree. If I was in a shop and I would have done the same. I would have asked them to chuck them for free, but
I did try that. He said I can't do that.
All right, then you start. But at least you start the barter process.
You negotiate, don't you?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go number 5 for me. Do you know? So I fucking thank you for that. Because I think Mega Drive is one of the best consoles ever made.
It is.
The PlayStation 2 is the best ever made. End of.
The library that it has is just phenomenal.
Yeah, but the Mega Drive comes so close after the PS2, I think, because it just the library, Key Chameleon, stuff like that. Flashback.
Lemmings.
That I think Flashback just released on a 20th anniversary thing for PS4.
Ooh.
I might have to look into that. Lemmings, Worms, Cannon Fodder. So there was some amazing Alex Kidd on the Master System.
Yep.
So just amazing games. So thank you for that.
That's all right.
I'm gonna go number 5 for me.
Got it.
Now I've got to say most of mine are more contemporary.
Okay.
He says, but looking at them, that's 2000. That's 2000.
It's funny how we think about everything that's in 2000 onwards is more contemporary.
Well, it's everything on my list is over 2000.
Right.
Which, if this was a top 20,
you'd incorporate a lot of the old stuff.
There'd be a lot of 1990s stuff. There'd be at least 3. Probably 5, possibly 6 1990s games. And maybe we'll do that. Our top 5 90s games.
Like picking an era. Picking an era. And that'd be fun.
So I'm going to go number 5.
Okay.
Mass Effect Trilogy.
Ooh.
Man. Mass Effect 1, flawed masterpiece. Combat off. There you go. There's Normandy just whizzing past. Combat was completely off.
SR2.
But the story was absolutely spot on.
Yes. Yeah.
And the characterization was absolutely spot on. So you had fantastic characters with a really compelling story, with a combat system and an exploratory system that didn't work.
Yeah.
Didn't quite work. But you saw the huge potential. And then Mass Effect 2 just took everything that was a problem and just blew it out the water.
Yeah.
Went, oh yeah, okay, we understand the exploration was a problem. The planetary changed.
Yeah.
Now you're going to go down. Now you're going to probe. Now you're going to do this. Now you're going to do that. Combat, yeah, it was an issue. boom, way more dynamic, better control over your squad members. They absolutely nail it. New characters come into Mass Effect 2. Brilliant Miranda, brilliant.
But it was a fantastic start. The start to the game, the setup was done phenomenally. I remember when I first played it, and I was like,
well, put it this way.
You did that?
What trilogy would you ever get nowadays where in the full first 2 games, you don't even see the bad guy? Technically, you don't even see the bad guy.
Technically, yeah, 'cause he's a hologram, isn't he, from the first one?
Well, no, I'm talking about when the fucking come in.
Yeah.
When the Reavers come in, you see a hologram of a Reaver.
The hologram of Sovereign, that's it.
But that is it. You never see, that is it. And it's just one Reaver.
Yeah.
So, and that is all you see in the first 2 games. Yes, you've got antagonists, for sure. But it's all set up. And then the third game, which is essentially more of Mass Effect 2. I'll take it, because Mass Effect 2, amazing. Just goes number 11 on the holy shit, everything is fucked.
Yeah.
Ometer. And to me, Mass Effect 3 gets a lot of flack because of the ending. And I think it's a bit unfair because up until that ending, the game was great.
Yes.
And you got 15 minutes, unfortunately, of a very disappointing ultimate ending. Okay, I get that. But it also had 45 hours before that, which were sensational.
Yeah, that's one thing that really annoys me about Mass Effect 3. It's not so much the game itself, but everyone that shits all over it. It's a really bad game.
It's all about the ending.
Yeah.
Right, the ending was shit. Yeah, what about the end? Okay, the ending wasn't great. What about the 45 hours you played before then?
What about the journey? Telling Tim to go screw himself for that he's an arsehole.
Getting people to blow themselves up, sacrificing your teammates, people dying, people that you've had for two fucking games. Ashley, getting together with Ashley properly, and if you want to, you don't have to.
No.
But to me, I always had this thing with Ashley, and it really came back in Mass Effect 3. It really came back in spades, and it was like, to me, it was a wonderful payoff.
Yeah.
Because if you linked the games together, and then you got the additional story because of that, well, just a few lines here or there, but it worked. And then the whole thing with Ashley, I thought if you'd gone through the romance with Ashley all the way through, you got some pretty dark stuff when she got really injured at the beginning of Mass Effect 3 and da-da-da-da.
Yes.
And this, to me, the first 3 Mass Effect games, some of the best storytelling in gaming ever. And then coupled with that,
trilogy.
yes. I mean, that's just it. The industry is so devoid of great sci-fi.
Yeah.
Halo was great sci-fi. Halo ain't great. It ain't great sci-fi no more. No. Destiny, not good sci-fi. It's not. It's garbage sci-fi. There's no really good sci-fi out there.
No.
And Mass Effect wasn't just good story, wasn't just good sci-fi, it was good characters, it was good gameplay. It really melded so many of the core elements of that you want as a gamer.
Yeah.
And just blended them so well. Where is Mass Effect on your list?
It is in my list.
There you go. There's one. I've got one of the 2. Tick. Number 4, sir.
Number 4, carrying on the theme of when I discovered them, will be something on the N64, but not probably what you're thinking.
N64. Let's have a thing. Well, I'm thinking Ocarina of Time.
Would have been if the list was longer.
Okay. If the list is long, so I would. Well, if it wasn't that, I would probably say Mario 64.
Again, that would have been on the list if the list was longer.
I think those are the 2 standout games.
Those are the ones.
Oh, Golden I.
Again, if the list was longer, it would have been on there.
Unbelievable. All right,
don't say Perfect Dark, because if the list was longer, it would have been on there as well.
Perfect Dark. Okay. to rock. Okay, all right, let's move on.
No, this one trumps them all because I spent so much time with it, and it's just so.
If you say Superman 64, this
Okay,
podcast is
I'm a masochist.
over. It's
I'm a masochist.
over. We're just ending it here, right now.
No.
Right.
It is actually a contender to Mario Kart 64. And it comes in the name of Diddy Kong Racing.
Diddy Kong Racing. Wow.
That game was ahead of Mario 64 because of the different vehicles. It had the plane, the hovercraft. You could use any of those vehicles at any track you wanted to. Even if it didn't suit it, you could still use it on that track.
I think it's... This is just a personal thing. I think it's so difficult to beat Mario Kart.
Now it is.
Mario Kart 64
Now it is.
was just, to me, the best.
Don't get me wrong, I love Mario Kart 64. It would be on the
Power
list if we had
slides
longer.
just for days.
Yeah, but I just love the complexity of Diddy Kong Racing though, because the music was phenomenal. The Frost Top Peak, Hot Top Volcano, these name of tracks. You know, those tracks of the music as well just still resonate in my head. I can hear them every time. Every time someone mentions Diddy Kong Racing or I see something like that. The octopus bosses, each zone had a boss you could race against. You know, there were different ways of using power-ups. If you let go of the controller, used a power-up or like a boost, you got an extra boost. It was more of it. Just little things like that. I just really enjoyed it, and it just felt a little bit more aimed at me because I just loved the cute characters of it. It was different to what Mario was. Everybody loved Mario back then. It was like, I played Mario 64 for a very long time. I played Mario Kart for a long time. Give me something of that I like, the kart racing, but different. And that's what Diddy Kong Racing did for me.
Well, I mean, I'm not... First of all, I have to say I'm not advocating this at all, but I played a lot of Mario Kart stoned out my fucking brain. And so Mario Kart's got... There's lots of good memories about Mario Kart.
I can see that.
We used to play it and we just used to be absolutely battered. Just battered. Playing Mario Kart and like hardcore, but battered. It was amazing. And then so kids don't do drugs.
No.
Don't do drugs.
Dumb.
But if you do, no. Mario Kart is just a great game to. Yeah, but a lot of Mario Kart for me was just stoned and pissed.
Yeah.
But I never even touched Diddy Kong. Never even touched it.
You see, a lot of people looked at it as a more aimed at children.
How could it not be GoldenEye?
It would have been GoldenEye. But at the time, GoldenEye was my very first shooter. And I remember getting stuck in the second level facility because I didn't know how to open doors.
Okay.
Yep. Didn't know how to open door. I couldn't open the door. Didn't know. It was an alien concept to me. I've been playing 2D games. I've been playing Mario Kart on the SNES. You know, I've been playing that for years. And Mario All-Stars, so all the Mario games, Lilac Wars, you know, so no doors, opening doors.
Yeah,
So,
but in life,
you don't walk up to a door and press B. If you want to go to a bedroom door,
no, but you walk up to a fucking door and open it.
But in a game, you know, it's a different concept.
What, you mean to just walk through a fucking door? It's a door. Press a fucking button.
But doors to me in games,
Press F to pay respects.
doors to me in a 3D game just didn't, you know, click. I didn't understand it. I had to walk up to it. There was no button prompt. There was no like, a button on the screen, like press this button to open the door. Didn't get that in those games. But you had to use a bit of common sense, which obviously I was lacking.
I'm glad you made yourself there. I'm glad you made it on your own. To that place.
I know my own flaws when it comes to common sense.
I reckon if this was a top 10, GoldenEye might be in mine.
GoldenEye
Might be in my top 10.
GoldenEye would be joint with Perfect Dark.
That's definitely one of my 90s games. Was GoldenEye.
Yeah,
definitely. Not giving away the fucking next video. You know, next time we do this video, but GoldenEye's in there, folks. Probably quite high. Probably very high. Down number one though, there were definitely ones from the 90s which, because I got some weird fucking. If we got to do a 90s one, dude.
Yeah.
Number 20, podcast 20, 19. Because I got some real fucking weird 90s games that I loved.
Yeah, I remember playing something called Beetle Adventure Racing, where it was just Beetle cars.
Well, I mean,
it was fantastic.
In the 1990s, I was just in full RPG mode. I was actively seeking out RPGs to play.
Yeah.
Legendary game. Okay.
Go on, your fourth.
Number 4, Shenmue 1 and 2.
Ooh.
Shenmue 1 and 2. The Shenmue games were something you've never experienced before.
No, I've never played them.
Open world, in as much as you were in a city and you had like think of Yakuza if you played a Yakuza game. You're in a city, you got a job, you had the introduction to QuickTime.
Yep.
The main component of the game was brawler, third-person brawler. So you would have one-on-one fights. You'd have one-on multiple people fights. Huge story, proper story. So you had like main narrative with Yu Suzuki, because he's the guy that created Virtual Fighter, Virtual Tennis. So you had Yu Suzuki creating this open world game where you needed money, so you needed to get a job. You could go into an arcade, you could play Outrun, you could play these games from, yesteryear, although they weren't massively, but you could play these games which you used to play as a kid on the arcade, Super Hang-On, stuff like that. Fuck, this is such a good podcast. It is. We said all the best things ever in the podcast already. This is just the world's greatest podcast.
A positive podcast for once.
It's just the best. Well, they're always positive. It's not our fault the gaming industry is a set of wankers. So you had to earn the monies, and then you would move. It wasn't static. You were in a situation where your character would move to another town, move to another area.
Yeah.
Brawl, win competitions. All this, you learn new techniques, blah, 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 blah. And you just never had these components in a singular game before. You had these elements as a game, but you never had them all combined into one, and then all sort of like needed together with a proper narrative going through, and a narrative that you were interested and intrigued about. And they blew my mind. The Shenmue games just blew my mind, and hence why I threw several £100 at the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter campaign, because I was mortified that we'd never get to see Shenmue 3. Yeah. And even if Shenmue 3 is just more of Shenmue 1 and 2, but, slightly better, I think I'd take that, to be honest with you. I'd take that, because it's although people get pissed off now with QTE and stuff like that. Look, Shenmue created QTE. That's its principle. So if you're expecting no QTE in Shenmue 3, then you're living in fantasy land. But you're going to have probably a very good brawling system, and you're going to have probably a very good narrative going through, and it's going to look prettier. And it's got Yu Suzuki behind it, and it's got Sony behind it. It's got millions of, we don't know how many millions Sony have thrown in, but we know it's got at least $7 million of our hard-earned cash. So it's just something completely different, something where the pace of the game constantly changed. And I find in today's day and age, so few games actually do that. They actually have a genuine change of pace. Yes. A genuine up and then a down. Don't always be at one level. Don't always be a one-note poem. You gotta vary it. You gotta bring people down so you can knock them back up again, and all that kind of jazz.
It's a journey, isn't it? It's a roller coaster. You need to have your highs. You have to have your lows. You can't stay up there all the time, because you're gonna get bored of the view.
Yeah.
You gotta come back down, so you can't see what's up there.
Also,
and then go back up again.
bring yourself back down. Just going back out into the streets, going to a cafe, going to an arcade, going out on a date with the girl, a girl, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
It just gives you a very basic, but it kind of normalizes certain elements of it. So you have these, this weird like brawler, or you're working as a forklift driver to earn some money, or you're taking pictures of some girl's cleavage, whatever it may be. It's a photo album of.
Obviously,
whatever it may be, you just have this complete change of this ebb and flow of the way that the content was given to you, or how you wanted to actually experience that content. And I don't think there's ever been a game series like Shenmue. I think Shenmue 1 was at the time the most expensive game made, and at the time it was crazy expensive, but it had so many different mechanical elements that were all moving and shifting at one time. And when it comes out on the PS4 later this year, probably because the PC release is August next month.
Shenmue 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm. So likely that's when it'll come out on the PS4 as well. Sorry. I recommend people. I don't know if it's Xbox One as well. I doubt it. But I highly recommend people pick it up, experience something from yesteryear that is just quite spectacular.
I think I might have to keep an eye on that one because I missed that on the Dreamcast.
You could have got original. I've got the OG original Dreamcast games down there. Whoop whoop. And also they brought it out or Shenmue 2. They brought out on the Xbox, the original Xbox, which had slightly more enhanced graphics than
just slightly,
just a little bit, than the Dreamcast. But yeah, just a very special series that means number 3.
Number 3 would have been the Mass Effect trilogy, but we've already spoken about that. So
it would have been a Mass Effect trilogy. So that's where it would have come in, number 3.
In order of discoverability.
Right, okay, but I said my piece about Mass Effect. Is there anything special
you pretty
that you
much covered it, to be honest. You hit all the points.
I am very good at this thing.
He is very good at it, to be honest. Let's be fair. He's really good.
Also, by the way, I think Shepherd, male Shepherd, female Shepherd. I think you like to play female Shepherd.
Fem-Shep.
I like to play man Shep.
Yeah, I've tried both. Before anyone says anything, I have tried them both.
Ladies.
And as much as I was okay with male Shep, the problem was that I felt he was far too much dead inside, essentially. He was very military. He had he felt to me there wasn't much emotion. I didn't feel any emotion anyway.
I like that because he's in a military organization.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It just didn't appeal to me because after I played Fem-Shep a lot, and I was like, right, okay, I need to play through with male Shep because at the time I was streaming it a hell of a lot. People were coming in asking me, do I like male, fem? And I was like, do you know what? I really can't answer that because I've never played male Shep. So I did, and because I've been playing female Shep so much, because Jennifer Hale, is it? Because she put so much
fantastic,
into
by the way,
character.
fantastic actress,
absolutely amazing. Because she put so much emotion and comedy value into her delivery, I loved it, absolutely loved it. And then going from that to male Shep, it's like night and day. It really is. And so, I particularly didn't enjoy it.
Mass Effect the movie comes out tomorrow. And I'm being serious. Mass Effect the movie comes out tomorrow, 2018.
Right.
Is it man Shep or fem Shep?
I don't know. I think it'll have to depend on who's playing them. Give me 2 actors.
I would personally. Okay. Man Shep, Nathan Fillion.
Oh, that was mean. Come on. All right. And who's playing Fem Shep?
Fem Shep. I'd say Sandra Bullock.
Ooh.
I'd say Sandra Bullock for Fem Shep.
See, I'm not a big fan of Sandra Bullock.
I love
So
Sandra Bullock.
it would have to be male Shep then.
I think I ruined it when I said Nathan Fillion for everyone.
You
there.
did. It was a no-brainer, really, wasn't it?
Felicia Day for FemShep.
Ooh.
How's about that?
Ooh.
Felicia Day.
Okay.
FemShep.
All right. Oh, it's gonna be FemShep then.
Nathan Fillion versus Felicia Day.
FemShep.
Do you know something? In all seriousness, actors aside,
Yep.
If Mass Effect came out tomorrow, 2018, I think it has to be FemShep. Not because of anything like social justice-y, because that's just a set of shit, or anything pro-feminist. I just think, from my personal experience of Mass Effect, I think FemShep is the most popular.
Yes.
Although I personally play Manship and I like Manship a lot.
Yeah.
I think in the community, FemShep is the most popular.
No, I agree. I think it's probably because of the.
But Jennifer Hale is fantastic.
Yeah, not just the fact that it's Jennifer Hale does an amazing job with FemShep. I think it's also due to the fact that the lack of games that have a lead female. The majority of them are male.
Yeah.
Let's be fair.
Oh, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
when given a choice, I will play a female character.
I've got no problem playing a female.
No,
I
I
have
don't.
loved Tomb Raider since it came out.
Yeah.
I've got no problem with playing as a female character. Perfect
When-
Dark.
Yeah. Oh,
Recently, Horizon Zero Dawn.
yeah. No, I love them.
Resident Evil games. You're virtually always playing as a female character at some point in those in that franchise. I don't legitimately understand people that have a problem. Like, right, I can remember I created a character in an MMO and somebody said to me, "Why didn't you create a female character?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Because I'm just a male. I identify with playing as male characters.
That's fair.
That's
No problem
fair.
with that.
I think that's fair."
Yeah.
And the guy said, "Yeah, but I'd rather be looking at a female ass than a male ass."
Oh, go away.
And it's kind of like, is that your sort of like attitude when it comes to, because if he looks at a male ass, he's obviously gay.
Oh, jog on.
But yeah, that sort of mentality is daft. So that's a role reversal, obviously. But I just don't get it when you get the people going, "Oh no, I don't like playing female characters in video games." What?
Why? Give me a good enough reason why.
The pixels.
Yeah.
Well, does it matter if they're male
Shape
pixels or female pixels? Does it?
Yeah. It's not like if you're playing a male character, right? And at some point during while you're just wandering through a forest or whatever you're doing down an alleyway, that your character's just going to pull down his pants and show you his ass. He's not going to.
Unless I make the game. In which case he is.
Your eyes do
Just-
not have to go on
just
their
because.
arse. How about you look where you're going?
All right, Anita Sarkeesian. All right, calm down.
Sorry, this whole argument with the sort of like the reasoning behind it, I think is absolutely daft.
No, I mean, I just think it's ludicrous. Ludicrous that people, I don't like playing a female character. Shut up. Don't like playing a female character. Numpties. Don't know how we quite got here. Oh yeah, FemShep.
Damn you, FemShep.
Damn you. Well, no. Good on you, FemShep.
No, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I have seen a lot of the different scenes played with FemShep. And like, for instance, one that is, I think, very renowned is the nightclub scene. Which is great, where she just kicks some ass and stuff. So that's Mass Effect.
Yeah, that was my
trilogy, whatever, comes in at number 3 for you, number 5 for me. Number 3 for me, Silent Hill 2.
Ooh, the Silent Hill series went past me.
Silent Hill 1, 2, 3 were tremendous games. Tremendous games. Silent Hill 1 scared the shit out of me. Literally scared the shit out of me. And it was on the PlayStation 1, for goodness sake. And one of the things about Silent Hill, which I think is phenomenal, is Metal Gear Solid sold Silent Hill. Because when you bought Metal Gear Solid, you got a demo disc inside of it for Silent Hill. And when people... This is how it used to be, folks. When you played that demo, you got this unbelievable opening. You got the CGI opening, which at the time was great. You had the amazing, haunting Silent Hill tune, which I think Silent Hill's got some of the best music in games ever. And then you played the demo, and that in itself just made you think, oh god, this game's going to be so scary. I've got to get it. And so Metal Gear Solid sold Silent Hill for me. And then when Silent Hill 2 came along, which shifted over to the PlayStation 2, which we, at the time, if you were alive and cognizant around that time, then you would be aware that the PlayStation 2 looked as if it was otherworldly in graphics compared to its predecessor. And so when you saw the Silent Hill like mocaps and stuff like that, where he's putting his hand across his face in the mirror and stuff, it just looked absolutely stunning. The way that they worked the limitations of the engine into the game, hence why you had the fog in Silent Hill. They turned it into like a weapon almost of the game. And the story of Silent Hill 2 is incredible. I think it's one of the most disturbing, and I think it was one of the most, when I say shocking, I don't mean as in, but the reveal at the end, which I'm going to blow for you people. The game came out in 2002, I think, so you've had 16 years. The reveal at the end was that the husband, who was the main protagonist of the story, killed his wife, but as a mercy killing.
Oh, okay.
Because she was dying, she was in a lot of pain, and I believe he smothered her with a pillow, but there was an ambiguity about it as well, which was very clever. Because if she was in pain, if she was at peace, and he put her out of her misery almost, why was she haunting him in Silent Hill? And the ambiguity was, did he euthanize? Did he Did he do that? Or did he do it for his own selfish?
See, so he didn't want to see her suffer, so he put her out without her consent.
Well, no, that would be the first one, because I don't think either were with her consent.
Right, oh, I see.
He was like, this is becoming a burden.
I get you.
She's becoming a burden on me, and I need to be rid of this burden.
Yeah.
Because all the other characters that he met along the way, they'd all killed somebody. And there was various reasons as to why. And this is the ambiguity, you see, because one guy killed kind of almost for pleasure, whereas one of the characters who ended up getting burnt alive in Silent Hill, she killed due to abuse.
Yeah.
She killed her abuser.
Right.
Now, you would say she's justified.
I guess it depends whether it was malicious or...
Well, it doesn't matter. This person's abusing. You can only take so much. You get to a breaking point. She snaps. She kills the abuser. Whether it's premeditated or what, or malicious or horrific, how she does it. She kills an abuser.
Yeah. Okay.
And she pays the same price. I think she burnt him alive in the house. She gets burnt alive in a corridor. I think literally the corridor just sets alight, and she kind of understands and accepts her fate. It's so dark.
That's
so dark, and he meets the character which looks like his wife, Maria, which looks like his wife but isn't his wife, and then at points in the game is his wife, And then there's such great symbolism. There's such great narrative. The gameplay elements were fantastic as well. The scares were unbelievable. Pyramid Head, one of the greatest villains in gaming, just through the sense of how they looked and what they kind of represented throughout the course of the game. I don't think you could get better than Silent Hill in terms of psychological horror.
Yeah.
It's very easy to do jump scares. Silent Hill games have you in a constant state of terror, whether it's of your own making. And that's some of the cleverest things about Silent Hill. You would just hear a sound, a bang, in the distance.
Yeah, what is that?
What is that? And it lets you fuck yourself up.
Resident Evil did that to me.
Resident Evil did that. No, not anywhere close to the degree that Silent Hill does at all. Silent Hill really wanted to get into your head, but wanted you to get into your head.
Right. I've never played the Silent Hills, so if Resident Evil can do that to me, God, I don't want to touch Silent Hill.
Resident Evil is a comedy show compared to Silent Hill.
Wow. Wow.
It's a comedy compared to Silent Hill. Silent Hill is genuinely horrifying stuff. Did you ever play the PT demo?
Yes, I did.
Honest to God, that's the scariest thing I've ever played in my fucking life. Bar none. The scariest thing I've ever played in my life.
The problem with PT that I had was that I didn't discover it until watching yourself play it and a couple of people play it. So when I went to go play it myself, I kind of knew what to expect. So I kind of ruined it.
I didn't.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. That was the beauty of it for me. I'd heard it was really scary.
Yeah.
But when you hear a video game was really scary, there's part of you which goes, sure.
Yeah, you do. It's all just jump scares now, isn't it, really?
Sure, there's going to be like and you're going to be like, whatever. But PT had me in a constant state of, I don't want to go down this. I genuinely do not want to walk down this corridor again.
I think that's where a lot of horror games go wrong now. There is difference between fear and actually jump scares. Jump scares like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, jump scares are the fast food of horror.
Yeah, the fear of walking down a corridor because you heard something but you didn't see it, or you may have seen something at the corner of your eye. If a game can do that,
I'd go further. Not wanting to go down a corridor because you just don't want to know what's around the corner.
Yeah.
No sounds irrelevant. You just don't want to know what is around that corner. What is waiting for you around there. And that was the beauty of PT. And you wouldn't have had PT if you didn't have these first. I'd say the first 3 Silent Hills were the mecca of the series. And number 2, I think, is just the best of the bunch.
I feel like I need to get hold of these and play them. But I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that because they're not on PC.
I think you can emulate them. I didn't say that. Number 2, Zerg. Number 2 on your list.
My number 2 might be on your list.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be surprised if it isn't. The Last of Us 2.
Wow.
The Last of Us 2. Sorry, The Last of Us.
The Last of Us 2. What's it like?
Do you know what? I was mildly surprised.
I haven't played it yet. I've only played the first one.
Oh, you're missing out, dude. It's fantastic.
Shit, dude. Shit.
Been to the future and back again.
The Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
Okay, The Last of Us, I'll tell you, is not on my list.
That's surprising considering you're the one that got me to buy it.
It's definitely in my top 10.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not in my top 5.
Okay.
Just not through any other reason than the games that I have here. And I'd say the games that are similar to in terms of what they were trying to achieve. Silent Hill 2, I don't think The Last of Us would exist without the Silent Hill franchise.
I see, yeah. Yeah.
I think, and I don't mean that Silent Hill 2 is a rip-off by any stretch, but I mean that I think Silent Hill 2 probably looked at horror come zombie come, this sort of franchise, this sort of genre, but serious.
Yeah.
And Resident Evil games have always been touted as like B movies.
Yes.
Silly, bloody, gory, like George A. Romero type of fare.
Yeah.
Whereas the Silent Hills, like I said, with the Silent Hill franchise, is about you getting in your own head, about creating your own fear, about psyching you out.
Yeah.
And so when the legit horror comes, you are fucked. Because you've totally got in your own head and you've totally driven yourself insane with what's going to happen. So I think there was, there are nods in The Last of Us to legitimate, the legitimacy of things like Silent Hill. So I don't think Last of Us would exist without a series, the Silent Hill series and stuff like that. I think Last of Us is a phenomenal game. Do not get me wrong. Putting together a top 5 is a very difficult thing to do.
Yes.
If you put Mass Effect 1 next to The Last of Us, you've got a debate. But when you've got Mass Effect 2 and 3 to add to that equation and you don't have any more of The Last of Us yet, it's quite difficult to. Especially when you've got the whole picture.
It's unfair to do a trilogy against one game.
Yeah.
Really.
So, everything on my list is a sequel, believe it or not.
Oh.
Which is really weird. Or, at least, the first in a series and leading on into the future. You talk to me about Last of Us. Why is it so special to you?
It's one of those games that gets me every time. I know the story.
Mm.
I know about the clickers. I know about the characters. But yeah, every time I play it, I feel like I'm playing it for the very first time. Each time I play it, because it just the emotions that you see on those characters' faces, the voice acting, the mocap is just spot on to me. And every time I play it, it gets me. I cry. I get emotional, I get happy, I laugh at the silly jokes from the joke books, I smile at the developing relationship between Joel and Ellie, I cry.
I don't know how you can be unmoved by the beginning.
You can't.
With the daughter being killed at the beginning.
If anybody plays that and just sits there dead, you're dead inside.
Yeah, you are, because
that father-daughter connection, you can't beat it. That loss, yes, spoilers.
But the thing is, though, that's right at the beginning of the game, and then you jump 20 years later.
Yeah,
this ain't this ain't 3 weeks later, 2 months later.
Yeah,
this is 20 years later after that event, and
you're like, shit.
Wow, that is a hefty period of time. But you need to have that beginning section because you need to understand the relationship between Joel and Ellie. Yeah. God, I wish this was in my top 5 now.
Do you know what gets me with that scene with Sarah and Joel, when he loses her? It's the cries of his daughter.
Oh, she's terrified. She's terrified. She's terrified to die.
She's been shot. It gets me every time. Those cries... and Joel just holding her in his arms, crying, and it just gets me every time. I just sit there and I think, oh my God, no. Just, no. It's inevitable. I know it's going to happen, but every time I play it, I don't want it to happen. I don't want to hear her crying.
Do you know what that is?
It's sobbing. It's...
Do you know what that is?
Go on.
That's good storytelling, that is.
It is. Not just good storytelling, the acting, the voice acting. That is good storytelling.
But yeah, good storytelling, whether it be through the medium of the writing, through the acting, it's both in this case. But this is good storytelling. This is why people love single player games.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was just a little stab at EA. And
I always use Last of Us as an example of the connection between books and movies and games. Because people cry when they go to a movie. they cry when they read a book. They sometimes cry when they watch EastEnders, for crying out loud. I'll never figure that one
I
out.
fucking cried when I saw the Last Jedi.
You know, if
Fucking,
those kind of
there were tears of, I wish I could get a refund.
If people can find connections in those characters that you see on the screen, through movies, in books, because you're using your imagination, then why cannot gaming be on the same level as like?
Look, I think one of the biggest successes of The Last of Us is because the characters are relatable. You know, you in the gaming industry, when you release various games, whatever the franchise might be, sometimes although you can get into the franchise and adore the franchise, you can't genuinely relate to the character. You know, can you really relate to a character in a zombie apocalypse?
Well,
Not so much. But can you relate to a character who loses their daughter?
Yeah.
Who finds a surrogate daughter and doesn't want to accept her because of the loss of his true daughter? The Last of Us wasn't about clickers.
No.
The Last of Us wasn't about the apocalypse. It wasn't about the disintegration of mankind. The Last of Us was about people.
Yeah.
It was about family. It was about people. It was about how families can be dysfunctional. It was about how families can work. It was about how families can be abusive. But the overarching theme for me with The Last of Us is family.
Yeah.
And that is a very relatable ideal for people.
Yeah. I mean, when I play it, I go through it with the whole my frame of mind of loss. Because you got this Joel.
Loss is a huge theme. It's a huge theme in it. Yeah.
Joel loses his daughter.
Yeah.
He loses Tess.
Yeah.
He nearly loses his brother at one point.
Nearly loses Ellie.
Yeah, nearly loses Ellie.
Or should I say, Ellie nearly loses Joel.
Yeah. Ellie loses her.
It works on both ways. He loses Ellie, then Ellie nearly loses Joel.
Yeah.
So it works both ways.
So that's why I feel, for me personally, I connect with the characters that way, because you can use that loss for anything. Whether you've lost a pair, whether you've lost a wife, girlfriend. I've had girlfriends in the past and whatnot, and I've been in love and whatever. So I will never feel that amount of pain as losing a daughter, but there's that pain of loss.
Well, there's a pain of the pain of loss with like when you see Joel 20 years later, after his daughter's been killed and the world's crumbled and it's now in some godforsaken state.
Yeah.
Tess was the last, or felt like the last, almost shred of humanity for Joel.
Yes, definitely.
It was his last connection to some sort of life, to some sort of family, to some sort of relationship. And then when Tess goes, Joel is just completely disconnected from Ellie. Doesn't want to get close. Doesn't want to get involved. Just, I'm gonna fucking deliver you because of Tess, and then I'm done. And then the obviously the just amazing storytelling of how they bond, how their relationship develops, and that is in no small part to how fantastic Ellie is in the game itself, and just because Joel's a very kind of stern character throughout it, and he has the beauty of Joel is his moments of vulnerability.
Yeah, he does.
The moments that he opens up, the moments where he starts to, you can tell he is starting to warm to Ellie, and it's so subtle.
Yeah,
it might just be he says a line to her, whereas before he wouldn't have said anything. He's suddenly starting to answer her remarks, whether they be silly or not so silly, or wherever it may be. And then I actually thought when they're in the university and Joel falls through the window, I thought Joel was going to die.
Same.
And then at the end of the game, Ellie was going to be left on her own at the end of the game. I thought it was going to be one of those instances. And obviously Joel pulls through, and we have I won't actually. I'm personally not going to give away the ending, but we have. Fuck it, I might.
Just do it. We've given away so many spoilers in other games. It's fine.
We have the ending where you can read it in multiple different ways. I read it, although what Joel did at the end, killing the Fireflies to save Ellie's life.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced he was saving Ellie. I'm thinking he was saving his daughter.
I get you.
And ultimately, at the end of The Last of Us, Joel's the bad guy.
Yeah, because he does lie.
He lies. He lies, and he causes a potential rift going forward between him and Ellie.
Which we will see in The Last of Us 2, hopefully.
Well, because it looks like Ellie is going, certainly in The Last of Us 2, any Fireflies she comes across, they're getting minced.
Yeah.
It's not a black and white. You can't just say he's the bad guy. It's not a black and white situation because of the very clever storytelling, because of the fact that the Fireflies, to get the cure, or at least to get the tissue to work on a cure, they would have to kill Ellie. So it wasn't just as simple as, no, I'm being selfish, I'm going to take her away. He was saving a life. Was he saving Ellie? Was he saving Sarah? That's ambiguous. But ultimately, he couldn't bear to see someone close to him die again. Yeah. He'd lost too much. And that, folks, is fucking good storytelling.
I was going to say, that's what you call storytelling.
This is why we love single-player games.
Yeah.
Just phenomenal storytelling.
I can go through a story like that all by my lonesome, experience every emotion, and not get shot in the back of the head by another player.
Yeah. Or have to climb a tower to open up an area of the map. Yeah. Number 2 for moi. We're going camp. We're going silly.
Dance Revolution, isn't it?
But I tell you what, we're going a bit camp. We're going a bit silly, but we are going to the best place this franchise has ever gone, and it's Resident Evil 4. The first true evolution of Resident Evil, and for a long time, my favourite game of all time.
That was good.
Resident Evil 4 took the Resident Evil franchise, shook it, changed the dynamic of the static camera, gave it a much more action-y, but at the same time, it worked. Style of gameplay, while still maintaining the classic Resident Evil horrors, introducing some great little characters, continuing the wonderful relationship between Ada Wong and Leon S. Kennedy.
Well, look at my wares.
And, spidered high, Bryce. While having all the camp ridiculousness that Resident Evil has to offer, this game rocked every fibre of my being.
Yeah.
Everything about this was just great.
I was shocked for Resident Evil 4 because I played the originals, and then I brought Resident Evil 4, and I was completely blown out of the water of it. I thought, no way is this going to be scary whatsoever, because the camera behind the camera behind the character, you're going to be able to see everything. Oh boy, was I wrong. Being chased by a boss you cannot see because he is behind you. You do not have time to turn around because he's going to cut your head off with a chainsaw. You're running for your life.
But it added this whole new dynamic. It allowed you to do more in the world. There was just so many brilliant things that Resident Evil 4 brought to the table for the franchise. And unfortunately, they fucked it all up.
Yeah.
5 was more of the same, and it just got stupid at the end, and 6 was just we don't want to talk about number 6. And I can't wait for the remake of Resi 2. I really can't, because it's going to be like Resi 4, but with Resi 2. And Resi 2 is another great game. But yeah, it's weird because it's so high on the list, and I can't say too much. Resident Evil 4 is an experience. You're just going to experience it.
Just go play it.
With your attaché case that got bigger, allowing you to put more weapons in. The gun selection was just spot on. The upgrade system was just spot on. The areas that you went to were phenomenal. Boss fights were just the best. And you had the sexy little president's daughter, Ashley, with a ballistics, as the guy says. And you had all the disgusting pervertedness that Japanese games can sometimes bring. You could scope up Ashley's skirt, and she would go, "Oh, pervert!" But you got your look at the white.
I love the fact that the devs knew that players were going to do that, and that they programmed her in to do that as well. That reaction, I love that. It's so little, but yeah,
it was clearly obvious. It was clearly obvious at certain moments that you were going to try and do it anyway. You just say, "Can I? Did I just get a flash of white cotton?" Let me just get my sniper rifle out. Whoa! I got rumbled.
Got caught.
Got rumbled.
Abort!
but let's just say, she eats. It's just it's a great character. I mean, Leon and Ada are great characters. The add-ons that you got with it were fantastic. That you could play Ada's story. Yes. That you had the plus game element of it. That you had the mercenary mode, which was just the best. I can't speak any more highly of Resi 4. It was just the best thing.
Go play it, make friends with the merchant, and just enjoy it.
He'll buy it at a high price.
Hello, stranger.
Spinals. Number one!
My number one. Now, I had to change this at last minute. Because I had to. Originally, it was The Witcher 3. But...
Wait. Ta-da! That was my 2-game prediction. The Witcher 3 and Mass Effect.
But I had to change it quickly.
You twat.
I had to.
But if you're changing number 1, doesn't that make it number 2? Boom!
Changed it, haven't I? Changed it.
You can do what you want, mate. You can do what you want.
I will, don't you worry.
But if it was number 1 and now it's not even the top 5, I don't know how the fuck you work this one up. Okay.
I'm just shit on your list.
So you took it out. You took the number 1 out and took it out the whole top 5, right?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I love The Witcher 3. I could gush on that for days and days and days and days and days. But there is one game that just sings to me so much that I feel it hasn't got the love and recognition it deserves, and it does need it.
This is Superman 64.
It's this, yeah, sorry, yeah, it's Superman 64.
This
you beat me.
Podcast is over.
Superman 64. Yep. Nier Automata.
Okay, right. I've not played this yet. I played the demo, but I have not played this yet. I have only heard good things about this game.
The game just surprised me. I'd never played a Japanese RPG, or whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't even call it that because there's so many genres built into it that it just keeps giving and giving. And the thing with that game is that there are no low points. I didn't feel a single low point with that. Every time something epic happened, it beat it, and then it beat it again, and then it kept beating it, and it just kept going and going to the very end where it just you exploded everywhere, and you're like, oh my god! And I still play that game to this day. I go back and play. You can do level select, you can do mission select, and go back and play that point in the story as you was back then, but you keep all your stuff anyway, so it's sort of like NG plus but not a proper NG plus.
Yeah.
So you can always go back and do replay old missions and things like that. But from the combat to the different genres, I mean, there's even sides like 2D but mostly 3D fighting, like your Street Fighter. They've got that in there. They've got your isometric top down, bullet hell. You've got your flying one. You've got obviously your 3D environment. You've got your fishing if you really want to do that.
Always with the fishing.
It's a charming, beautiful game that every ounce of it feels like there hasn't been anything skipped on it when it comes to putting passion and love into that game. The soundtrack, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. They set the scenes with the music, with everything. It kicks in. If you're walking around the forest, you get some nice, cool, calm music. And then if something spots you, you enter combat. The music doesn't change; it ramps up. So it evolves. It's the same track, but it evolves, and it's done like that all throughout the whole game. And from all the characters that are in there, I think it's a game that should be played and experienced. Even if you don't like the Japanese art style, for the love of God, play it, because you can look right through that and you will find a hidden gem. Personally, I feel you can find a hidden gem in that game. Even if you don't like some of the aspects of it, there will be other parts of it that you could probably fall in love with. Even if it's the main story. The main story is absolutely... Sometimes I can predict what's going to happen in the game because I've been playing games for ages. Sometimes they can be a little bit predictable. But this... I didn't see any of it coming.
Yeah, I hear it's very sad.
It does have sad moments.
I hear it's very sad. I hear it's very
emotional.
dark. But I hear it's beautiful, and I heard that it's an excellent game, and it's one I just haven't got around to getting yet.
Yeah.
I will. Number 1.
Come on. The Witcher, isn't it? The Witcher 3. Yeah.
Has to be.
Do you know why I took it off my list?
Has to be.
I took it off my list because I knew you put it on your list.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about something else.
No, that's fair enough. Look,
if we both go on about it, we'll be here all day.
Well, I thought we were gonna meet. I thought we were gonna meet at the top.
We can.
I thought we were gonna meet at the top.
We can.
Look, look. There's just no better game franchise than The Witcher. There isn't.
No. Even if you take the story out of it.
If you've got a different answer to that, that's great. You're wrong. But that's great. You do you, but you're wrong. It's got The Witcher 3 is the game which delivered and delivered and delivered and delivered. It was the game that just kept on delivering. I don't know ever, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know a game that has ever met and surpassed expectations in such vast quantity than The Witcher 3 did. Every single nuance of this game was perfect.
Yeah. I think had I have played the other two in succession to the 3, I probably would feel... I do feel the same way, but I'd probably be more excited about it, knowing where CD Projekt Red came with The Witcher 1, and then how they improved with Witcher 2, and then just top that with Witcher 3.
Well, I mean...
It's...
The evolution between The Witcher 1 and Witcher 2 is
it's night and day.
This is what we just don't see in gaming anymore.
No.
We see right, Ubisoft, fucking pay attention. We see a game franchise which sells some copies and then they go, all right, let's just stick to this formula. And then you get Far Cry 4, the same as 3. You get Far Cry... Everything just becomes the same. And then suddenly you have Ubisoft, where every fucking game is the same, regardless of the franchise. It's all the fucking same.
Asset flips, anyone?
Well, it's just, whatever.
It is, isn't
and
it?
well, it's not so much asset flips because it's their own assets, but it's just copy paste. It's just unoriginality.
Sorry, that's what I should have said. Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just literally doing the same shit over and over again, like various MMOs out there. And The Witcher is just the franchise which evolved.
Yeah.
It wasn't, considering how successful The Witcher 2 was, they weren't happy to sit back and sit on the laurels and go, right, well, let's make The Witcher 3. Let's do it the same as Witcher 2. No, they said, right, how do we make The Witcher 3 like bigger and better, but not in a Hollywood way? How do we take this franchise and expand on it?
Well, they did what any a smart dev should do and do their research. They want to do open world, but the problem that they found with open worlds is that you could walk in any direction and not experience something. They actually coded and made The Witcher 3 so that every time you moved, I think it was about 14 seconds, you could move 14 seconds in any direction and encounter something.
Well, I mean,
That's just
to be honest with you, I don't think, well, to some respects, I don't think that's particularly relevant because The Witcher 3, wherever you ended up, was something different.
Yeah.
Whether you ended up in a small town, whether you ended up in a big city, whether you ended up in a hut in the countryside, whether or not you ended up in the middle of a mire. Wherever you ended up, there was something unique. There was a unique story. There was a unique happening. There was something constantly different going on.
Yeah.
And you felt like a true, fully fleshed, realized character in Geralt. This isn't just a bog standard nobody. Geralt has desires. Geralt has, feelings. Geralt has a sense of humor. Geralt has a sense of justice. Geralt is a fully fleshed, realized character, like every character in that game. All of them, regardless of whether they're a king or whether they're a pauper, they all have fully realized characteristics that your character bounces off of and your character responds to accordingly, whether they be male, whether they be female, whether there be a love interest, or whether or not there be an adversary. The whole combination of The Witcher 3 world, with The Witcher 3 ethos, with The Witcher 3's characters, with The Witcher 3's combat, with The Witcher 3's progression, with The Witcher 3's difficulties, as in difficulty levels, whether or not you choose to, be potioned up and and make sure, and all that kind of stuff, was just the best.
Yeah.
Every zone that you went to, every person you encountered.
The DLCs were games of their own. And the price on them was perfect for what you got. In fact, I think they were overly generous to be honest.
I think the price of the DLCs was generous. Generous for what you got.
Yeah.
For what you got, it was insanely generous. Especially Blood and Wine. Don't get me wrong. I love both expansions.
Yeah.
But Blood and Wine, so I thought was a whole game in itself.
It was. You could have brought it as a standalone.
Yeah.
And be content with what you got.
Well, I threw about 35 hours into Blood and Wine. Yeah, possibly a little bit more. Because I tried to do everything possible. I tried to do everything imaginable. Why? Because the game was so fucking good, I needed to. I needed to experience everything.
You had to build a statue.
I had to do the whole thing. I had to fuck the Queen's sister, but I had to still have Triss. I had to during the whole game anyway. I had to be a father to Ciri.
Yep.
And at the same time, I had to be a bastard to Yennefer, sorry, Yen. But it's always about Triss for me. I had to be a bastard to Yen. When I did my alternative playthrough, then I went with Yennefer, and I didn't like it because it's Triss, and I hate. I can't say no. I can't say no to Triss. It's just when I had to say no, and it's But there was just there were moments in The Witcher 3 which I will remember to my deathbed. I will remember sitting in the garden with a slightly tipsy Triss. I will remember when she fell into my arms. And if you've played The Witcher 2, and if you played The Witcher 2 like I did, where all my decisions were based around saving Triss. and then she falls into your arms, and you have the opportunity to kiss her or not kiss her. To me, that was just one of the most beautiful moments in gaming I've ever had, because that was the moment where I connected The Witcher 2 and The Witcher 3 together.
Right.
And that is where I realised I could never be without Triss in my life ever again. Then I realised she was a character in a video game, and
then he had to come back to reality.
And then I had to really come back to reality, because shit.
Do you know what that is again, ladies and gents?
That's really good storytelling! That's really well written characters. That's really good storytelling. That is the combination of a trilogy coming together, because in the first DLC, when I bumped into Shani, holy shit, everything came flooding back from the Witcher 1.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I am now in legitimate trouble because I'm in love with Triss and I'm in love with Shani. What do I do?
Shani's just like, you're like, oh, I can't hurt you.
I know.
She's like a little flower you just don't want to hurt.
Not enough get fucking uppity with us kind of way. No, there was something with Shani, there was something you did just want to protect her.
Yeah.
Now, whether you want to go all fucking weird in the comment section about, well, it's just male thing, whatever. Do you know something? Fuck you. Because it was really good. It was really good. It made you care about a character, and I'd rather a few tropes here and there to make you care than just some dolly bird.
I feel the character writing in The Witcher 3 was so spot on, perfect in my eyes, that it made me want to go back, read the books, and play The Witcher 1 and replay The Witcher 2. So I've never played The Witcher 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're the best characters ever written in a computer game.
Yeah. Considering
the volume of characters, and also when you started to meet ancillary characters, how fleshed out they were as well.
Yeah.
This game was meticulous. Just meticulous. Everything had to be right.
Everything from the crones to Little Johnny to the succubus going around killing people, even some of the contracts with the higher vampires, they all had
the daughter who wanted to learn fencing, who liked a bit of danger in her life. These ancillary characters, the Baron,
the bloody Baron, the cheating dwarf outside of Novigrad. Is it Novigrad? Is he outside Novigrad or is he outside of yeah. It's just
there are it's just the conflict, with the witches and the look. If you've never played the Witcher series, what the fuck are you doing watching this?
Where have you been?
What are you doing? Turn this off. Go buy. Go play. Go come back. Go say thank you.
If your parents are taking you on holiday,
stay at home.
Stay at home.
Stay at home and play The Witcher instead.
Tell them you'll be okay. They can lock you in a house with some, I don't know, pizza.
A credit card and some pizza,
Yep, you'll be fine. You won't answer the door to strangers because you're playing The Witcher 3 over summer. You'll be fine.
But you need to be 18 anyway, so you wouldn't have won't be the problem. But to me, it's just the ultimate. It's the ultimate game. It's the ultimate franchise. So sad it's over.
Yeah.
In the same instance, so happy that it's just quality through and through.
Yeah, I mean, it's... But do I want more Witcher games?
Yes!
Yeah, I do. But I'm not sad that the way The Witcher 3 ended was perfect. It was fantastic.
It was great, and you always have it at the back of your head. There's always a chance that Geralt one day... And he's going to be in Soul Calibur 5.
Yes. And we've got the Netflix TV
show in the works.
Yep. So who knows?
But there's always a chance that one day, maybe, when CG Projekt Red have finished Cyberpunk in 2077, because it's still pre-alpha, it's still years away.
Yeah, they said they.
Away, so. Yeah, still years away. Maybe after they've done that and they've sat back and they've relaxed and they've chilled out, maybe somebody goes, I really miss Geralt.
Yeah.
And then they all go, yeah, me too.
Fancy a game of Gwent?
Fancy a game of Gwent.
Start playing Gwent and like ideas.
Or some dice. It was the dice in
Dice
Witcher
the first
2.
one, yeah.
So there you go, folks. Our top 5 games. Agree, disagree. Guess what? We don't care. Because it's all personal and, you can have your own. Doesn't mean anyone's right or wrong here. Unless, of course, you put Superman 64 in it, in which case you're wrong.
There's probably one person that does because they speedrun it.
Or do they run it while on speed? Probably the latter. So, say goodbye, Zerg.
Goodbye, Zerg.
And we'll catch you on AZCast. I was going to say chats. I'm working on an AZChat right now. We'll see you on AZCast 11 next week. Until then, thank you very much. Goodbye for now.